She anticipation she'd wanna back the cops showed up. She anticipation her clipboard and affected maps would abolish my deed, my name, my 10 acres. But aback the adjudicator said the words counterfeit misrepresentation. Karen's face went pale, and that was the aboriginal time she accomplished she'd best the amiss man to bully. I didn't buy this acreage to action anyone afterwards 12 years in the Navy. I capital silence. 10 acreage aloof al fresco of Silver Lakes. No HOA, no delicate shutters, no lath affairs about mailbox colors. The acreage advertisement fabricated that clear. My accomplishment alike clearer. Not allotment of Silver Lakes Homeowners Association. That byword was the acumen I bought it. But accord doesn't aftermost continue to back a woman like Karen Barton runs the appearance abutting door. It started with a letter, not the affable kind. It had that accumulated arrogance, adventurous fonts, official seal, and an accent that rire of superiority, apprehension of violation. It accused me of breaking affiliation standards, non-compliant fencing, crooked outbuilding, crooked mailbox. My mailbox, a apparent atramentous animate box, allegedly affronted her biscuit empire. I laughed at first. Afresh I accomplished it wasn't a mistake. I collection bottom ward to the HOA office, cerebration I'd bright it up in 5 minutes. The architecture looked like a Burghal fortress. Spotless hedges, affected brick, the affectionate of abode breadth annihilation absolute anytime happens. Inside, I met the receptionist. A afraid kid who was secular me adjoin a glass-walled appointment room. And there she was, Karen Barton, Admiral of Silver Lakes HOA, sitting like she endemic the air. I got this notice, I said. I anticipate there's been a mix-up. My acreage is not allotment of Silver Lakes. Karen aged her head, smiled after warmth. All homes oral the revised 20/20 map abatement beneath Silver Lakes jurisdiction. Revised by who? I asked. The board, she said, as if that chat agitated all-powerful power. You'll charge to book for abandonment if you disagree. There's annihilation to abjure from, I replied. I never joined, she blinked slowly, bore her pen. Our ann'll alter until you comply. You are accountable to affiliation fines. That was the moment I saw it. The quiet beam in her eyes that said this wasn't about fences or mailboxes. It was about control. I didn't argue. I aloof nodded, said, we'll see about that. And left. But I knew afresh this wouldn't stop at one letter. The abutting morning, a laminated chicken apprehension was taped to my door. Final warning, $1,000 fine. I stood there barefoot, staring at it. The cardboard acquainted added than it should have. Afresh came the crisis of tires on gravel. 2 men in HOA polos stepped out, clipboards ready. One started snapping photos of my shed. The added abstinent my fence. Can I advise you? I said, articulation flat. We're documenting alive violations, the Alpine one answered, accent decrepit with ascendancy he didn't have. You're trespassing. I acicular out, calm but sharp. He shrugged. We're accustomed to audit backdrop beneath HOA jurisdiction. This acreage isn't beneath yours. He aloft his tablet. According to our records, it is. A fresh flash. He took account of me abutting abundant that I could aroma his coffee breath. Leave, I said, my articulation bottomward to the accent the Navy accomplished me. The affectionate that makes bodies stop animation for a second. Instead, he dialed his phone. We charge law enforcement, he said loudly. Homeowner's actuality aggressive, I about laughed. Almost. Instead, I alleged 911 myself. Yes, I'd like to abode 2 trespassers' abnegation to leave my property. 20 account later, a agent pulled in. Young guy, alert Duke on his holster. The HOA reps ran to him like accouchement errant to a teacher. He threatened us. He's abnegation inspection. The administrator angry to me. Sir, what's activity on? I handed him my deed, the bindle map, the official stamp. This land, it is an allotment of Silver Lakes' HOA. They're trespassing. He advised it, frowning. The taller HOA man shoved his book amid us. We accept the revised administration map. The administrator compared them. Why do these abstracts belie anniversary other? Because he artificial his. The HOA man said confidently. That becoming a attending from the officer, the affectionate that says, you aloof said article stupid. Afore anyone could speak, a white Range Rover formed in. Karen Barton stepped out. Sunglasses, clipboard, absolute hair, Burghal royalty, accessible for war. Officer, she said warmly. Thank you for coming. We are artlessly administration affiliation standards. Mr. Dalton has banned to comply. I'm not allotment of your community, I said evenly. Yes, you are, she replied with accommodating condescension, like she was answer algebraic to a child, afresh louder to the officer. He's unstable, aggressive. That was aback I accepted this wasn't incompetence. It was entrapment. Fine, I said. I'd like to columnist arrest charges. Her arch airtight joined me. You can't columnist charges. This is affiliation jurisdiction. The agent befuddled his head. Ma'am, that's not how acreage law works. They're trespassing. Leave now. Her smile froze. This isn't over, she hissed. I'm counting on it, I said. She collection off, alluvium spraying like shrapnel. That was the aftermost peaceful night I had for weeks. 3 canicule later, a man in a clothing agape on my aperture with a certified letter. Apprehension of compulsory affiliation reclassification. Inside, 3 maps, all backdated, anniversary 1 assuming my acreage swallowed by HOA borders. One alike had the signature of my property's antecedent owner. Problem was, that man was asleep that night. I pulled out my records, every map, deed, tax file, analysis report. I arrested aggregate adjoin Canton archives. My acreage was private. Always had been. Karen's maps were fiction. I visited my acquaintance Ed, a retired postal artisan who knew aggregate about the area. Aback I showed him the documents, he sighed. She's been accomplishing this for years, he said quietly. If your acreage isn't beneath her control, she finds a way to accomplish it. Don't allocution about this online. She monitors everything. That told me 2 things. 1, she was dangerous. And 2, I wasn't the first. I started digging deeper. Canton records, acreage transfers, LLC filings. That's aback I saw the name Dark Disinterestedness LLC. Every acreage Karen had annexed in the aftermost 5 years was after a wash to that company. Cheap, registered in Delaware. Guess whose business abode it matched? Karen Barton's consulting office. So, this wasn't about lawns. It was about money. I bear proof. Absolute proof. And that's aback the birthmark showed up. His name was David Lang, HOA Lath member. Khakis too tight. Polo too crisp. He agape one night, attractive like a man about to confess. I shouldn't be here, he said. But what Karen's doing, it's wrong. He slid a binder beyond my kitchen table. Inside were emails, affected affair minutes, and a abstract accomplishment alteration with my name already abounding in a cellar. She affairs to notarize it a budding week, he said. Already it's recorded, it'll attending real. I addled through the emails, phrases like, accelerate annexation. Push compliance. It'll crack. I looked at him. Aback she saw the documents, she said one word, fraud. Afresh another, federal. We spent the abutting anniversary architecture the case. I installed cameras, organized binders, labeled every page. David kept agriculture me material, emails, financials, alike affirmation that HOA ante were actuality funneled into acknowledged contingencies appropriate afore anniversary annexation. We traced it all beeline to dark equity. Karen anticipation she was untouchable. She didn't apprehend we were already ambience the stage. Aback the accusation hit, Dalton against Silver Lake's HOA and Karen Barton, she absent her mind. 3 lawyers, 2 columnist statements, 1 bootless apply attack calling me a artificial resident. I about affected that term. The audition was set for Thursday. The attorneys was packed. Reporters, neighbors, alike a guy affairs shirts that said hoey hell no. The adjudicator Cynthia Monroe Ashen no time. Mr. Dalton, you adduce that you were fraudulently claimed as an affiliate of an HOA you never joined. Yes, Your Honor. And that Ms. Barton advisedly filed biased documents. Yes, Your Honor. Linda presented our evidence, the artificial maps, the apparition notary's license, the asleep man's signature. Karen's advocate objected, but the adjudicator cut him off. Counselor, are you suggesting your applicant accidentally filed an accomplishment with a asleep person's signature? Karen's face drained of color. Afresh David took the stand. He accepted to the abstruse sessions, the biased votes, the artificial minutes. She told me, he said, articulation trembling, that if she fabricated abundant noise, he'd leave. She alleged it cardinal pressure. The adjudicator leaned advanced and the advised aftereffect to buy his acreage through dark disinterestedness at a discount. Afresh came the neighbors, the Swansons fined for a bird feeder. Rosa, the nurse, threatened with CPS over artery parking. Anniversary adventure chipped edition allotment off Karen's empire. One acquaintance alike showed a video of her analytical annual pots with a ruler. By the end, the allowance bashed with quiet anger. Adjudicator Monroe took a breath. This cloister finds that Mr. Dalton's acreage lie buns al fresco the administration of Silver Lake's HOA. All fines are void. Ms. Barton's accomplishments aggregate counterfeit bribery and harassment. Restitution is granted. This case will be referred to the commune advocate for bent review. Karen didn't move. She aloof stared ahead. Hollow. The arcade clapped until the bafe told them to stop. I didn't smile. I aloof looked at her, The woman who anticipation she could carbon law with a marker, and a fresh absolved out. 3 canicule later, Karen resigned. Stepping abroad for claimed reasons, her email said. But the canton didn't stop there. The DA opened an investigation. They bald-headed abolished HOA funds, artificial invoices, payments to companies endemic by her relatives. Silver Lake's HOA was frozen. No added fines. No added acquiescence visits. 3 Lath associates resigned. 1 approved to annul all files. Too late. We'd backed them up weeks ago. The adjacency changed. Bodies started talking again. Rosa ran for the new advising council. She won. The Swansons threw a barbecue. Aboriginal time anyone heard music in that esplanade after a complaint. Ed brought his karaoke apparatus and Cypher cared. It articulate like a dying robot. As for me, I backward quiet. Still lived on my land. Same mailbox. Same fence Karen hated. Except now. There was a beat beneath the oak tree. My nephew congenital at that summer. One Saturday. I saw her walking her dog accomplished my driveway. No sunglasses, no clipboard, aloof her. She didn't attending at me. I didn't say a word. She kept walking. Shoulders low, accomplished small. The woman who already disqualified this adjacency like a commonwealth now looked like addition who'd absent the map to her own power. I didn't feel triumphant, aloof calm, like the babble had assuredly chock-full that night. I wrote one aftermost agenda in my file. Never aberration blackout for weakness. Sometimes it's aloof the complete of strategy. And that's the affair about angry bodies like her. You don't outscream them, you outlive them. This is action HOA, breadth ascendancy meets consequence.